Hello everybody, welcome to this video where I will be sharing everything you need to know about this new moon in Virgo that we're going to have on September 2nd. I'm Julie from Maison Jupiter, if you don't know me yet, and thank you for joining me in this video. I will be sharing all about the astrology, and I believe this new moon will impact us more on a personal level. So I will be sharing on like what can you do, what can you time with this new moon in order to manifest in the best way possible. So right before we get into the slides and everything, I just want to share that it's not going to be an easy one. But because I'm a very positive person, with great efforts and hard work comes the best blessings ever. And that is kind of the energy of Virgo. And we're going to be talking lots about Virgo in this video. So Virgo is all about, let's say, paying this karma, accumulated karma from past lives on a day-to-day basis. So working hard, putting in the effort, doing the work on a day-to-day basis in order to get to enlightenment or like the top of the mountain, but on a very, let's say, very much day-to-day basis. Consistency, hard work, taking care of your health, having a routine, working hard, starting from the bottom. So as you can see, it's not like the dream life we might be experiencing with Virgo, but I had an experience yesterday and I really thought about that, how timely it was as I was preparing to do this video. So I went to do some hot yoga, which is something that I really love because it allows like all the toxins to get out of my body. And as a proud Virgo, I love everything about detox, healthy practices, health. I'm a very healthy human being. And it's been a while since I have, let's say, gotten back into my exercising routine. I'm still trying to figure out like how to integrate it on a regular basis, to be very honest with all of you. I had begun again doing hot yoga maybe a month ago, but I wasn't really regular. So as you know, with any kind of exercise we do after a while, it hurts. It's really rough. So yesterday I went through like a really tough hot yoga practice and I was barely able to stand up on my mat and do like the postures and everything, and I was sweating my life away. But at the same time, when it finished and I was lying on my mat for shavasana at the end of the practice, I was like, it made me realize how much more you actually appreciate the results of your hard work when you have to work really hard for something. And I was like, would we be able to truly enjoy something if we didn't have to put in like as much hard work as we should have to? So this is a question that was like, this is interesting. And I believe it's really part of the human experience to be able to enjoy love, for example, after struggling for a long time, not having a relationship, or let's say having a relationship that is really hard to deal with. And then when you get into this healthy phase or with a healthy partner in a relationship, then you're fully able to enjoy like how fulfilling it is on an emotional level. So and same with like all the topics in life, work, health, love. So this is something that really came through my head, and I was like, wow, this is such like a profound realization. And I believe this was timely because I had to share it for this video. So I named this new moon in Virgo on September 2nd, hard work required. Yes. So let me share first of all the calendar that I made with you, so you have an idea of the month of September. So if you'd like to download for free this calendar, it will be available in the description box. So the day prior, we have Uranus going retrograde. So I put a lightning bolt here. And Pluto retrograde re-enters Capricorn. So lots of changes in direction with both Uranus and Pluto that can bring like unexpected rerouting changes and also blasts from the past, because Pluto retrograde re-enters Capricorn. So another fellow Earth sign with Virgo. So the Earth will be moving, so to say. And then the next day we have this new moon in Virgo, which we're going to be talking in this video, at 11-degree Virgo. And this is very interesting because it's exactly falling on my sun in Virgo at 11-degree. So my solar return for this year will be under the influence of this new moon. And I put there the warning sign, the red light here, because it's going to be a tough one, but I will show you how to navigate it in the best way possible. And I have no choice but to have like total faith in the universe and total optimism because it's falling on my sun, right? So I believe I am the best astrologer to talk to you about the energies of Virgo and the 11-degree. And then I will be putting up a video shortly for the next eclipse, which is, in my opinion, very much connected to this new moon in Virgo. And with this new moon in Virgo, we are embarking on, like, officially in eclipse season month and eclipse season energy. So we're going to have a lot of topics that are coming up for us to review, to transform at the eclipse, and those will be kind of given to us as a preview during the new moon in Virgo, and for multiple reasons, but also because Virgo, the new moon is in Virgo on September 2nd, and on the 17th, the eclipse is in the opposing sign of Pisces. And the nodes will be moving to the Virgo-Pisces axis at the beginning of 2025. So we will be undergoing a major transformation in the Virgo-Pisces axis, collectively, personally speaking. And this is the health axis. This is the work axis, also the axis that is in service to others, that wants to offer their gift, their abilities, their work in service to humanity. So very profound themes, as you can see. And those two lunations are happening before the nodes actually change in the axis. So we are at the very beginning of this huge transformation of the Virgo-Pisces axis. Yeah. So as you can see, between the new moon and the eclipse, we're going to have like 2 red light days here, which we're going to feel already during the new moon. So the Mercury-Uranus square will be in orb at the time of the new moon, and Mercury is the ruler of Virgo. So it's going to be, we're going to be able to feel it fully at the time of the new moon, and then it's going to be peaking on September 7th. So September 7th and 8th are actually going to be the peak of the energy of the new moon, because we're going to face like a lot of tension regarding what's going to be started at the time of this new moon. Yes. Wow. So much to say about this new moon. Okay. So first of all, there is something super interesting about this new moon, which connects it even more to the eclipse in Pisces on September 17, is that both have a mutable T-square part of the lunation. So for the new moon in Virgo, we're going to have, and I'm going to show you the chart, so it's going to be easier for you to see right here. So we have here the new moon. So the sun and the moon are connected because it's a new moon, 11-degree of Virgo. And then opposing that, we have Saturn. So this is why I was talking so much about hard work. Saturn is at 16-degree Pisces. And then making aspecting this opposition, we have Jupiter standing at a T-square. So making a focal point of tension at the time of this new moon in Virgo. So what does it mean? Well, every time we have a T-square in astrology, it's kind of a crossroad point, a decision point. So the universe is like putting extra pressure on us in order for us to move, to change direction, to make a decision, to act on something, to choose a path, to choose a timeline, basically. So it's not that bad because Jupiter is a very positive planet in astrology, but it's more like, where are you going that aligns with your moral, with your belief system, with your values? What do you believe in? So it's more connected to, I would say, a psychological aspect, making sure your life aligns with your beliefs, your values, what you truly know is right for you. What is your destined path? So Jupiter talks about the future. It talks about this idea of expansion of consciousness, this idea of destined path, of blessings, of being guided by your guides. So as you can see, it's really positive themes, but nonetheless, we're going to have to make a decision. And a very similar T-square also with Jupiter at the apex is going also to be influenced and activated for the eclipse on September 17th in the sign of Pisces. And Jupiter will also be the apex of the T-square. So it's like an ongoing, let's say, crossroad moment where we have the whole month of September to choose our path, basically. But more, let's say, regarding more this new moon in particular, we're going to talk about Virgo. So Virgo is not super glamorous. It talks about work. It talks about health. It talks about daily routines. Also, it can talk about pets. And the new moon means we're opening up a new chapter regarding those topics. So I believe a lot of us will have to adapt to a new ways of doing things. It could be at work, because traditionally speaking, Virgo deals a lot with work. It deals with how do we occupy ourselves on a day-to-day basis. For most of us, it means work. Unless you are very lucky, you don't have to work, but that means also chores around the house, probably responsibilities of all kinds. So Virgo is the sign of being in service, doing the responsible stuff, taking care of all the nitty-gritty details you need to take care of on a daily basis. And if you have children, it means you probably have a long to-do list, and that's also Virgo. And opposing that, we have Saturn, and Saturn talks about also discipline, hard work, career, let's say doing things on a consistent basis. So both of them connect with this idea of putting in the work. So the first area where this new moon could play out in your life is probably your work sector or your daily sector. And for a lot of people, it could also mean adopting a new professional strategy. Again, because Virgo and Saturn both talk about work. And because also Jupiter is a financial planet, it can mean that you have to now start a new chapter, open up something new with this new moon in Virgo, because there is, let's say, a new financial strategy or a new financial gain type of strategy at the end of the line. So a lot of people could be implementing, let's say, a new project, a new work, in order to create a new revenue stream, with that Jupiter being at the focal point of that T-square. Also, because it's Jupiter that's being, let's say, the star of this T-square, that could also mean needing to make decisions regarding social media, information, content, let's say also financial strategies, especially if you have a business or you're an independent worker. You will likely have to decide on something, put in the hard work, and then see the blessings later on. For others, it could also mean needing to make decisions regarding traveling, Jupiter also, relocation, immigration, because Jupiter is at the apex of that T-square. But if those topics come to you, and let's say try to be mindful of kind of what energy or big theme seems to be coming in your life. And if it regards more like the traveling stuff, like where do you want to set down your roots? Let's say, where do you want to incorporate your company for, as an example? Where do you want to travel? So if it's more like international type of topics, then I believe the eclipse on September 17 will give you major clues about that, because it's going to be in Pisces. So that's the sign of immigration, faraway travels, and Jupiter will also be focused, heavily emphasized at the eclipse. Again, also, if we stay on the work side of things, it could also be a new social media project for some people. It could be a new event, a new online project. But whatever is starting around this new moon, you'll have to put in lots of work and lots of dedication. And Saturn being opposing this new moon is a tough influence. But also Saturn is kind of a test planet. So it tests your commitment to whatever you're starting. It tests, is this person really dedicated into going this way? And it's not going to bring the blessings right away, because Saturn wants you to work first and to test you into seeing, are you really committed to this? And with Jupiter, it talks about also, is it in line truly with what you believe in? So any kind of project that is started around this new moon that is not fully in alignment with what you believe is probably not going to work. For example, we hear a lot of like get rich schemes, and let's say you are struggling financially, for example, and you're like, okay, I really need to start something, and you look at videos, and it's so funny, because a lot of times I'm on YouTube and they recommend videos like, how can I use, let's say, for example, AI to create a bunch of revenue streams with like half copying stuff from other people. So, and like the title of the videos are like, make 10 grand a day with AI and not doing anything and not showing your face and anything. So while I'm not here to put any judgment on that type of projects, I'm just here to say that this new moon is not aligned with that, and nor is the eclipse on September 17th. Because when Jupiter is highly emphasized, it talks about aligning what you're doing. And now we're talking about work, aligning your work with your true life mission, your true purpose on Earth. And I don't think a lot of people were put on Earth as a soul in order to copy stuff and just make money easily and sit and do nothing. So this new moon truly connects with your deeper purpose. Like, why are you here as a soul? What are you here to do? And of course, Virgo's not going to be all the glam and with like seeing a project really fully manifested in reality, but it's putting the first steps in the direction of something in the long run. Where was I in my notes? I went on a tangent here. So yes, also you could be facing obstacles around the time of this new moon, and I believe for the whole week, because as I said, September 7 and 8 also are packed with tension and opposition and squares. So this will be like planting the seeds of something, having to show the universe that you're committed on that path, because it truly aligns with your core self. And then facing the whatever obstacles that present itself. But if you're on the right path, it could be very lucrative in the end, because Jupiter is there. Also, it's the perfect new moon to perfect a project, because we're talking about Virgo here, making something better, adding the finishing touches to something, and aiming really high. Jupiter is the ruler of Sagittarius, and it's the arrow pointing to a really high goal, a really high achievement. Also, the other theme that we could talk about this Virgo new moon is that we are going to preview the themes of the coming eclipse, and that could also talk about health. So for some people, there could be, let's say, health imbalances that show themselves either before this new moon or around this new moon. And the key here, I believe, is Jupiter in Gemini. So Jupiter in Gemini talks about researching a whole bunch of information, doing a lot of research across many different platforms. If you're talking about, let's say, consulting a professional, consult many different professionals, because Jupiter and Gemini both talk about multiplicity. So really make sure you have like the full spectrum of information on a particular issue or imbalance before you decide to do something. And let's also talk about Mercury, because Mercury is the ruler of Virgo, and Mercury at the moment of this new moon just woke up from its retrograde sleep. So it's moving forward, but very, very, very slowly. So give it the time while you research information, you get different perspectives on an issue. And I believe this is the key for success. And also the eclipse in the sign of Pisces on September 17 is going to connect with that. Also, if it's regarding health for you, let's say a health issue or imbalance shows up at this new moon. And then the Pisces full moon eclipse is an amazing chance to heal and release whatever comes up. And Pisces also talk about this more holistic way of treating something, let's say looking at the roots on an emotional level, on a spiritual level. So look up at the other video that I'm going to post very soon for more information on that if it's regarding health. So I wrote in my note here slide, but I talked about everything on my slide. So I will just show it for people who love to screenshot it. So this is a little, let's say, resume of what I just said. I forgot to put it while I was talking. Yes, and Mercury is moving direct today as I'm filming this. So right here at the end, it says, organize yourself and your ideas and your projects like a good Virgo. So I think the key for success around this Virgo new moon is to play by the Virgo rules. Which is organizing, taking care of every nitty-gritty detail, making sure that everything is at its right place. It's kind of putting order into chaos. And it's also the details, the little things that sometimes we don't really feel like dealing with. Detoxing, getting rid of what you no longer need. So that can be also cleaning your house, cleaning your workspace, taking care of all the papers, of all the letters you receive. And I'm guilty. I have a pile of letters that I don't like to open up. So I should do that around this new moon in Virgo. So yes, that was just to show you the slide. I think I said everything else here. So yes, interestingly, I pull cards for the eclipses, and one of the themes that kept coming back within the cards is this idea of crossroad, being at a crossroad, needing to make a decision, which is interesting because we also have this theme coming up for the first time at this Virgo new moon. So when we are at the Pisces eclipse on September 17, the crossroad will be back, but it will be more like in a definite manner. And once we make a decision at an eclipse, it's kind of, there is an astrologer who used to say that when we are at an eclipse, it's like we are crossing a bridge. And when the eclipse is past, we are on the other side of the bridge, and the bridge self-destructs after. So there's no going back. The changes that are made are permanent. We cannot be like, oh, just kidding, Mercury retrograde, bad decision, and I'm going to go back here. So not going to be able to do that. So I believe the Virgo new moon is presenting us with the theme in our life that needs to be transformed, worked on, and then prepare yourself, because the eclipse time is going to be like a more crystallized way of making this decision a reality. So Mercury, as I said, is the ruler of this Virgo new moon. It will, at the time of this new moon, be making a square to Uranus, which is going to be exact on September 7, as you saw in the calendar. So there could be communication fireworks along this week of September 2nd. Lots of mental activity also, lots of overthinking, lots of stress. Because first of all, Virgo is associated with overthinking stuff, making a long to-do list, and I'm guilty for that. Also 11 degree, which is the degree of this new moon, deals with the nervous system, and it's an Aquarian degree. And Mercury squaring Uranus, both are intellectual planets. So lots of mental stress, and plus Saturn, whenever Saturn is involved in astrology, the energy is more dense. So it's harder. Saturn can deal with isolation, depression, anxiety. So I'm just warning everybody, and I'm going to give you like the best way to go through, but it's possible. And if you see that, let's say, rising up within yourself, this really big stress or anxiety around a question or in general, or if you see it in people around you, then you can like pinpoint exactly what's going on. And sometimes, well, for me personally, when I'm able to understand where it comes from, it allows me to get like the best way to deal with it. So I think it's one of the beautiful ways, one of the beautiful gifts of astrology. So how to deal with the stress that is coming up around the Virgo new moon with this, a lot of like this mental activity. First of all, as I said, be a good Virgo. So I think the first thing would be to have a routine, which is something that I've struggled with for, let's say, a lot of years, but now I feel like I'm better at it. So having a stable routine, first of all, stabilizes your nervous system. And there's going to be lots, whenever we face also changes in life, it's normal that our nervous system feels like a bit overstimulated. And plus, like we know, there's a lot of solar flares activity, the Schumann resonances of the charts. So the nervous system is always like the main target for all the changes. So the nervous system is overstimulated, overwhelmed. So first of all, having a stable and healthy routine allows the nervous system to feel safe, allows your body to feel more rooted, grounded. It knows what it can expect on a day-to-day basis, because maybe, let's say, there's going to be unexpected events, and probably because we are entering eclipse season and we are already in the orb of influence. So there could be major changes in your life from outside. So you're being thrown a curveball and you have to adapt quickly. And Virgo, by the way, is also associated with problem solving, fixing issues. So that's something Virgo really excel at. If you are a Virgo, if you have strong Virgo in your chart, then you're a really good problem fixer. But who says, problem says, you're being thrown like unexpected things and you have to deal with it. You have to make order out of chaos. So that's a lot for your stress level, your cortisol level. So having, again, a stable and healthy routine will help you deal with everything that you cannot control in your outside environment. So diet, of course, very key, especially when we talk about Virgo and Virgo Pisces. Hydration, exercise, sleep, and I'm going to add to that very basic list, meditation, because also don't forget, we're going to, in 2 weeks, have a Pisces eclipse, which is going to be super emotional. So the more we can connect spiritually on a day-to-day basis, which is the Virgo Pisces axis, the better. The more we can deal with anything that's going to happen in our lives. And added to meditation, I'm going to add in breath. So breath is connected to Mercury. Mercury is the ruler of Virgo. And breath is also connected to your gut health. And Virgo in medical astrology is your gut. And whenever we are facing lots of stress, our gut starts acting haywire. And the gut is the center of the immune system. So as you can see, if you do breath work, if you allow yourself, let's say once a day, to do something that allows you to breathe in more deeply, like meditation, like yoga, that's going to be like the best way to go through this new moon. And also we have a Mars-Neptune square. So another way we can deal with this new moon in the best way possible would be to unplug yourself, disconnect from devices and from hard work from time to time, to connect back to your spiritual team and but because Mars is kind of the go, go, go planet, and when it's making a hard aspect to Neptune, which is like the planet that is more passive and connected to your higher self, source, sometimes you go in a direction and you don't even like wait and stop to see if are you going in the right direction, so you don't have to go back and then forward again. So just unplug once a day and make sure you connect back to your higher self and your internal guidance. So we might struggle to focus on something with that square. Also, a lot of people I feel will struggle to face reality, and there's probably going to have like some escapism tendencies. So the key here is to go back to the Virgo. So the routine, being present in the moment, being present in everything that we're doing throughout the day, even if it's super boring, like cleaning, doing chores. But that's why a lot of Virgo people love cleaning. And I'm not one of them. I'm not a regular Virgo, but as I'm getting older, I think I'm appreciating more and more cleanliness in my house. I would say it's not a perfect time for surgeries, but I know a lot of people don't really choose their surgery dates. So just be careful if you go in, let's say, for something aesthetic. I would not choose this date because Mars is doing harsh aspect, and Mars is connected to needles, injections, and surgeries. So just side note here. So yes, I think, as I said, be a good Virgo with Mercury moving direct and it's sextiling Jupiter. So those will be the good aspects of this new moon. So organize yourself, your ideas, be detail oriented, have a good methodology. And on the good side of things, this new moon, I believe, will give us the power to achieve our goals. It is highly ambitious, but we're starting from the ground up. But with this energy of Saturn pushing us to deliver on a consistent basis, the hard work, I believe it gives us like the best ammunition in order to get to the top of the mountain. Lastly, I want to touch on something that I think is very, very interesting, and probably a lot of people are not expecting this in a Virgo video, but at the same time, I'm going to show you my chart so you can follow up with me. We're going to have this super interesting conjunction, and here I didn't put Lilith, but we have the South Node, which talk about past lives, past karma, connecting with Venus in Libra. And also we have Black Moon Lilith, which is going to be at 7 degrees, so very close. So a triple conjunction between South Node, Black Moon Lilith, and Venus. So what does it mean? Well, it's talking a lot about relationships, past relationship patterns, and also those past patterns that we have or have had about balancing our inner divine feminine and inner masculine. So I believe also another theme outside of like the classic Virgo themes that could come up during this new moon are relationship themes. And also those themes will also be very, very present for the eclipse season. And the second eclipse will be in the sign of Libra, so close to this triple conjunction. So it's kind of a precursor to the huge eclipse that we're going to have on October 2nd in the sign of Libra, which will open up a totally new chapter regarding how we're going to deal with relationships in a more harmonious and balanced way. So this Virgo new moon allows us to see what needs to be fixed. Again, problem solving, Virgo. And how can we tweak this balance to, well, first of all, within ourselves, but also with the people that we're encountering and we're in a dynamic relationship with. So again, we need to put in the work. And of course, that needs to go both ways. So it's going to be greater, as in successful, if both sides, let's say we're talking about a relationship here, decide to put in the work in order to fix minor issues or major issues, or to balance their feminine, masculine sides within themselves to better interact together And it's going to be even better if there's a common goal, because Saturn's going to be aspecting all the eclipses. And Saturn wants a long-term commitment. So if both parties are agree that, let's say, there's a common goal, there's a common, let's say, goal to, let's say, commit, higher, greater, or to spend their life together, for example, or to have some kind of common project together for the long term, I believe it's going to be very positive in the end. So the outcome of this process that's being started at this new moon will probably be timed with the October 2nd Libra. So we're going to see the outcome of all the work that's been done starting at this new moon in Virgo, because we're going to be then opening up a whole new chapter regarding relationships. So how do we relate to ourselves, and how do we relate to others? So this new moon calls for detoxing the relationship within the inner divine feminine and the inner divine masculine within ourselves, and finding common ground, because Lilith is involved, and Lilith is it's the point that's connected to the moon, which talks about this, well, the archetype of Lilith being the predecessor of Eve, and wanting to be equal with Adam. So Lilith wants more equality, wants to be heard, has strong opinions about things. It's also the wild feminine, the dark feminine, in the less, let's say, integrated ways. And we need to integrate Lilith back into the equation. So it's not just about peace, harmony, Venus. It's also about being heard. It's also about wanting a fair exchange of energy, wanting the balance, more balance, because we're talking about Libra here, and also problem solving, Virgo. So it's a really good new moon to start putting in the work, especially if there's a common goal for, let's say, the relationship or for yourself. So I think there's going to be a good chance of having a good negotiation for whatever's going on at the time. And it's probably very much linked to past lives or past lives pattern with the South Node. And the South Node wants us to alchemize in a very spiritual way, whatever's showing up at the time. And with Venus involved, Venus likes to negotiate. It's a very soft, loving energy that brings negotiation, mediation. It's kind of the kill it with kindness type of planet. So bring softness and love to whatever is going on and commit to doing the work. And I believe like the best outcome will be showing up for you at the eclipse season, which is going to be a very important one regarding inner work. So we just released a series of 2 activations that we will be doing with Elena on the exact days of the eclipses. So that's going to be super interesting, because we're going to use those portal of energies in connecting together live, and really, first of all, making sure we put an intention for the collective to be on the highest timeline regarding the balance between divine feminine, divine masculine, but also on a personal level, we call this one the Between Fate and Destiny series of eclipses, of activations. So we will be working really hard into, let's say, not being on autopilot mode anymore and like being a victim of fate, but rather with the expansion of our consciousness and with meditation and the singing bowls, we're going to try to elevate that into bringing in more free will and a more, let's say, agreeable experience for whatever you will be manifesting for the eclipses. So we will be doing this powerful work together on September 17 and October 2nd. So on the exact days of the 2 eclipses. And so it's a very, very fair price, especially because there are 2 activations in the package. And plus we are offering a early bird promotion, 25% off, and that will be until September 13th only. If you'd like to join us, please do so. We'll be super happy to be doing this work with really beautiful, like-minded soul like you. So that's going to be available on maisonjupiter.academy, and I will put the link down below and also the code, which is Destiny, and that's going to be until September 13. Also, just before last announcement, before I go, we still have a couple of days left for this huge 50% off promo for the tarot course. This is the launch promo because it is a new course on the Academy. So if you always wanted to learn tarot or master even more your knowledge about the major arcana, you can do this work with Sophie. So you're going to learn how to easily read any tarot deck and answer all of your questions. So a few days left again, and I'm also going to put the link in the description box. The discount code to get 50% off is Tarot50. These are pre-recorded courses that you can do at your own pace. There are also downloadable notes, so you will be guided into your own tarot practice to answer all of your personal questions. And we know that oftentimes eclipse season brings a lot of changes. We need to connect with our own inner guidance even more. So tarot is ideal for that. Thank you guys for staying with me until the end. And if you did enjoy this video, please do make sure you put in a like and you are subscribed to the channel. And thank you so much. I will be seeing you very